1v1 on Minsk Pocket. This is MrMarshallB versus Skillman. MrMarshallB going with US forces north of Minsk Pocket. Skillman playing as Oster in the south. We've got airborne, recon, rifle versus, ooh, I know this, assault support, mechanized assault, elite troops. Am I right? Yes, I am. Boom! Perfect. So we've got Tigers, we've got the Tiger Ace. Pretty strong late game loadout. Pretty much what you'd expect. We're gonna see rear echelon troops pretty much going straight down the center here. Usually you see rear echelon troops do back capping on this map. He's sending those aggressively straight down the middle, while his riflemen back cap, which is kind of strange. His rear echelon troops will certainly not be able to win an engagement on this fuel point. And his riflemen will not be able to engage at all because they're going to be tied up here on the flanks.
Rifle squad ready for action. Lousy patch of dirt.
Although the first engagement may be these riflemen against these Pios, riflemen will win. And in a single engagement of riflemen against these Grenadiers, riflemen will also win. Looks like the Pios might go back towards the center though. Try and deal with those rear echelons. We may even be able to get this fuel point captured if nothing moves to prevent.
Area's ours. We're taking fire. Area's ours.
Rear echelon troops taking a little damage from Grenadiers there.
Grenades now available for action.
Oh shit. From those Grenadiers. And they're gonna be forced to retreat or get wiped if they just stand there. Okay, so much for those. Guess he wasn't paying any attention. I don't know. Rifleman here engaging Grenadiers get a really lucky pick off at range. One of those models just dropped. Even in yellow cover and even at range. Lucky engagement for those riflemen. Should be able to capitalize on that and take control of the munitions point right there. Meanwhile, harassment of the fuel here by Pios.
The capture point is being overrun.
And they will be forced to retreat as well. These riflemen making their way over towards the right side, going to push away those Grenadiers, and the riflemen here are going to take control of the munitions. And he's going with a 4 rifleman opening. Having lost control of this fuel briefly, may be a little bit delayed in getting his captain.
Keep the pressure up.
Grenadiers on the flank of that rifle squad will pressure them out of that cover.
Infantry squads have been issued.
Oh, I'm not sure where he's going though. Okay, he's gonna retreat. He could have closed into short range against that squad, kiting that squad, tried to force one retreat before retreating himself, but outnumbered, there's really not that much you can necessarily do. Riflemen moving up here on the left side to take control of the strategic point. They've also taken control of the munitions over here, but going with 4 riflemen opening, he should possibly be pretty strong against 4 Grenadier opening. We'll also see troop training thrown on this squad of Grenadiers, so elite troops has been chosen.
We are losing a sector. Infantry! Territory secured. Our lines of supply are disrupted.
And riflemen are going to take control of the strategic point over here. Riflemen moving up to push away those Grenadiers over here on the right side.
Our opponents are seizing a sector.
Wow, what are these toxic comments in chat? This isn't even a bad game. This is a pretty good game so far. This is a pretty typical early game between Oster and US forces. Other than those rear echelon troops getting wiped, which yes was a silly mistake. Pretty typical stuff here. 4 Grenadier to a 4 rifle opening into a lieutenant, which looks like an AA half-track build. Map split pretty evenly.
The enemy is attempting
I'm not
to
sure what all the
steal our
complaints are
sector.
about. Vet 3 Grenadiers winning that engagement easily. Tosses a grenade hoping his opponent's not watching, but he is. It's the only engagement on the map at the time, I think, so not particularly good odds of that grenade connecting. Plus they were in green cover, so even if it had landed, squad would not have gotten wiped.
We have a fresh grenadier
But that will play his hand. He has revealed to his opponent that early grenade tech, which is somewhat slowing down his first vehicle. And that's possibly the reason for the 4 Rifleman Lieutenant into M20 rather than into AA half-track, spending that 25 fuel on the grenade tech. We'll go into the M20 from there rather than into the AA half-track since can't quite afford that. Grenade in the building almost wipes that Grenadier squad. He's got a Lieutenant and another rifle squad on his retreat path. We could see a wipe right here on that Vet 3 squad. That would really hurt. He needs to chase though. There he goes. Kind of late to chase. I think he'll get it though. Maybe. There he goes. Okay. I think the Lieutenant picked it up with the BAR. And that's a painful loss as elite troops. That's 25 fuel down the drain on that Vet 3 Grenadier squad. Let that die because he didn't dodge the grenade in that building. May not have been monitoring the engagement, throwing up a bunker over here. MG upgrade on that bunker to protect against riflemen making their way this way. And machine gun also protecting in this area, but there's an M20 on the field now, which should have no problem dealing with that machine gun. But he's actually going to disengage and make his way to support over here on the right side. Lieutenant is engaging an LMG-equipped Grenadier Squad Vet 3 at this range with the Thompson. Oh, officer model died. Taking heavy damage. Stun grenade tossed. Counter grenade. They will both retreat. I think if he had dodged that grenade, he could have won that engagement and continued across the right side. Rifle grenade on this rifle squad brings it quite low. He's not monitoring the engagement. Squad's gonna get wiped. No, and that's dead. Not paying attention. Smoke grenade on the MG42 will allow that rifle squad to move up. M20 also moving up to try and do a little bit of damage here. Still no armor skirts on the M20, interestingly enough. He's got the munitions for it. He's chosen not to get the armor skirts, which is going to leave him extraordinarily vulnerable to Panzerfausts. Here comes one. If he goes for a second one, he'll come quite close to losing this, but it should be okay. I think. It's falling pretty low, just a small arms fire. These riflemen are suppressed. But he's not going to go for the second Panzerfaust. He actually can't, he doesn't have the munitions for it, but he will recover his machine gun there with those grenadiers. Set that back up to force a retreat from that rifleman squad. These 3 squads here in the base, making their way back over towards the left side to push away these Pios, I guess. Right side's pretty much undefended. He could definitely send a squad down that way. Fighting position going up here on the fuel to defend. And Grenadiers with the LMG are going to make their way back to the right side and get some of that territory back under control. He's utilized troop training twice. That's 50 fuel spent just on that alone. And battle phase 1 is just completed. 90 fuel in the bank if he goes for tier 2 now. 10-minute mark is pretty late, but he seems to be handling the M20 just fine. Crew really needs to get out and repair. There they go. Took an oddly long time to do that. Rifleman here in the base. Trying to do some reinforcement, and these 3 squads have made it back to the front line. Push away those Pios. We'll be able to take control of that munitions point easily enough.
The enemy is taking our territory. We have our reinforcements.
Fuel cache going up here on the strategic point. Riflemen are going to lose that. They should not have left their position in cover. That is a suicidal engagement. Unless he doesn't react, is he really not going to notice? Okay. He gets a free squad wipe. Riflemen will retreat and barely make it to safety away from that Vet 3 Grenadier squad. Meanwhile, M20 going in on that MG42, blocks his pathing a little bit, should be able to secure the wipe. That burst connects. Come on. Wow, can't believe he's going to get away from that. M20 will continue to chase, and he's got to disengage. Panzerfaust pushing him away.
Enemy forces are securing our territory. We have a forward structure under attack.
Stun grenade.
The enemy has driven a wedge in our lines.
Riflemen will be forced to retreat. And Oster is actually getting control of the right side munitions with these two squads of grenadiers. Needs to do some counter harassment, having lost two full rifle squads, in fact. He's a little bit behind in the manpower game, but his fuel looks pretty strong. Major's already on the field, and he's going to have a Sherman quite soon. His opponent, no battle phase 2 yet. No Panzer IV anytime in the immediate future because he keeps utilizing troop training, which is going to leave him extremely vulnerable to a quick Sherman. This M20 is already causing enough trouble for him as it is. MG42 will be forced to retreat there. And Grenadiers still hold this munitions point. He definitely could have just gone in with that M20. I don't know why he's disengaging, but Lieutenant will get the point under his control regardless. And the right side is actually going to see a bunker constructed. Fighting position here will push away that squad of Grenadiers. And there's a forward retreat point established right there. Really late on the Sherman though. I don't know why it's floating so much.
Our industry grows to support us. Enemies firing on us! He's dead!
Apparently to paradrop an AT gun and paratroopers and not spend any of the fuel? What? That's just silly. Alright. Apparently he really wanted an AT gun and paratroopers. The Sherman will just have to wait. Rear echelon troops move to crew the AT gun over here, which is a mistake because his opponent has not even built tier 3 yet. He doesn't need an AT gun to do anything except blow up bunkers, I guess, and there's an oddly large number of bunkers here in the middle at this point. It's getting a little excessive. His munitions are not really being used efficiently. Machine gun bunkers will be pretty easy to clear out. Grenadiers will be forced to retreat over there on the right side.
HMG! That's everyone! Grenadiers ready!
I guess the AT gun can kill the bunkers, but a Sherman would be able to do the same and kill Grenadiers, which is why I think a Sherman would make more sense. And he's delaying the Sherman further with an ambulance. He's going to be floating 200 fuel by the time he can field a powerful form of armor, and his window of opportunity where his opponent has no armor is closing. Fortunately, he's kind of being a little bit lazy about getting a tank himself. Although if this Pio squad throws up the tier 3 structure now, which is 25 fuel, he will actually have the fuel for the Panzer IV roughly by the time it completes. But he's taking his sweet time. LMGs upgraded on the paratroopers, making their way to the front line, will be suppressed and forced to retreat by the MG42 over here on the left. And the Oster is now going to control both munitions points, which is not good, considering he's spent so much munitions on bunkers, one of which was destroyed by the AT gun, which is good. But he's not going to be punished for that because he holds both munitions points, and with 58 munitions coming in right now, he'll still be able to afford G43s and LMGs in huge quantities. Tier 3 structure has been completed and a Stug is in production. Interesting choice. If he suspects that a Sherman is on the way, which it is, Stug is a pretty decent response, just decent counter. It's cheap. 80 fuel for a pretty powerful tool to utilize against the Sherman, but of course it has terrible armor and dies very easily, so he has to be very careful with it. All these forces here by the Major making their way towards the left side, try and get this territory back under control. If they catch this squad of Grenadiers on the retreat, they should probably be able to wipe it. M20 goes around behind to flank that MG42, and it will be forced to retreat, although it suppresses the entire blob of infantry before doing so. And they'll retreat as well. And MrMarshallB needs to get a little more active here. He needs to make something happen. He's lost the entire map. He doesn't spread out and retake map control soon, he's just going to get rolled over. Had a pretty good map control situation earlier in the game, but now the entire map is turned red. His pushes are just getting shut down by one machine gun or a bunker. Doing some healing again on the ambulance, taking a long time to get territory back under control, but there is a Sherman on the field. Full squad of Grenadiers gets wiped. Probably should have retreated rather than going for the Panzerfaust, which he had no follow-up. A Stug is on the field, and he threw troop training on it one time, giving it Vet 1, which does give it access to target weak points. So that's actually a pretty meaningful usage of troop training. And it's going to make its way up the left side. The Sherman's already been repaired. Still has high explosive rounds equipped, though, and the Stug is going to catch its rear armor here. No target weak point on the Stug. Sherman looks like it's going to get away. Stug's chasing. Being pretty aggressive here. You should probably be careful about chasing this deep with an M20 on the field. He doesn't want to lose that investment to one M20 mine. He's going to pull back a little bit, play it safe. He's got his opponent pretty boxed in right now. Stug is dangerously unsupported, driving around with no minesweeper support. He could have died already just to an M20 mine. Fortunately for him, MrMarshallB has not planted any, and he probably should have 200 munitions floating. I don't think I've seen a single M6 anti-tank mine planted by that M20, which is kind of a waste. Especially since it one-shots Stugs. And he also knows his opponent went elite troops, which means he should be preparing for a Tiger Ace to hit the field, and if he doesn't drop those M6 anti-tank mines, it's not a whole lot that he has at his disposal to destroy it. Uh-oh. Engine damage on the Stug, making its way to the other Stug for support. Sherman doesn't move to follow up, though. Threw armor-piercing rounds on, might have been able to make something happen before the second Stug arrived to support. Still has high explosive rounds equipped, however, with two Stugs available to engage right here. That Sherman needs to be quite careful. Stug nails the lieutenant. Grenade going out. Nice dodge. Stug continuing to keep that Sherman at bay a little. Armor-piercing rounds have been equipped, but the Stug appears to be in the lead in this engagement. It's disengaging though, so is the Sherman. If he can keep these Stugs alive until the Tiger Ace hits the field, he should have a pretty significant armored advantage over his opponent. But a Jackson just got fielded. Jackson is a very hard counter to Stugs. Once that makes its way to the front line, starts pounding these things from range, they're going to really struggle to survive, especially if the Sherman continues to absorb fire, provide vision. Secure the kill on either one of these. Doesn't take very many shots from a Jackson to destroy a Stug, so that is going to annihilate these easily enough. Meanwhile, the right side is still defended only by one bunker. Center also defended only by one bunker currently. And he's struggling just to even get this territory on the left back under his control. Blobbing really hard here. He needs to spread out and take territory. No territory.
Engaged! Hey, I need a man! Die for the fatherland!
Faust connects with that Sherman. Damage against engine, but these grenadiers are just being sent into the meat grinder right now. Jackson gets caught by a squad of grenadiers over here, but they're going to get melted by that blob. Retreats just in time. Should be able to preserve that squad, I think. Yeah, okay, barely. Stug moves up to fire. Wow, shouldn't have done that. AT gun. It's going to destroy that Stug easily. Oh, it just got the Vet 2 bonus, though. Not enough. Armor-piercing rounds will still penetrate. And that Stug is destroyed. Jackson shouldn't have, wow, much problem with another one. This blob of infantry just annihilated another squad of grenadiers over here. Third Stug is in production now. He needs to not drive that Stug into that AT gun. That clearly does not work.
The sector has been cut off.
Okay, getting tossed at those pyros doesn't really do that much damage. If they don't retreat immediately, he's just going to keep losing so much infantry. Anti-tank rifle grenade is going to connect with that Stug and made no attempt to kite. Oh my goodness, what is it doing? If that Jackson drives up, which it is, we could see another Stug go down.
Stoke 3 ready to deploy. Structure under attack.
Jackson's finally going to do some bunker busting. These completely undefended bunkers should have been destroyed ages ago. 24 minutes into the game and those bunkers haven't even been touched. Stug moving up to counter the Sherman. G43s, ooh, take a big hit from that grenade. They'll be forced to retreat. LMG paratroopers might gun them down regardless. It's going to be close. They will around the corner and be fine. LMG Grens plus the Stug here will force that retreat. Sherman moving up to engage the Stug again. Has to do a lot of back and forth dancing here. I think he wanted to capture this point, but he has yet to decrew. The M20 and the bunker in the center has been destroyed. There's another bunker available over here for him to take out, completely undefended. Stugs keep rotating in and out of the base for repairs. These two squads going to do some reinforcement here in the base as well.
The enemy is attacking one of our forward buildings. The enemy has destroyed one of our forward installations.
Still hasn't captured this point. Doing some reinforcement and healing here by the ambulance. A lot of these squads are at full health and could go capture territory right now without waiting around to just stick in one giant blob. And Jackson is an issue. It exactly is an issue. Making Stugs is dangerous against US forces for exactly that reason. They're good against Shermans, sort of. For their cost, they're actually very good against Shermans. Shermans are 110 fuel, Stugs are only 80, not to mention they have target weak point. And cost only 230 manpower, but if they get flanked, if they get caught out of position for even a split second, if they get engaged by a Jackson, they're a delicate unit. They really are. Panzer IV has a little bit more health and armor to work with, which is why it's a slightly more reliable choice. Stug moving up to engage a little bit here. Big grenade though, big grenade on that MG42 and it will get cleared. Sherman shot misses, Stug shot connects. Sherman needs to pull back to a slightly more safe location, but there is a Jackson available here to support. Wants to get a shot on the Stug, and it does. Nails it hard. Stug needs to pull back. Pop smoke just to be safe. Grenade clears the machine gun again. Barely gets away. Sliver of health remaining. Despite having this Jackson and Sherman on the field, we wish to contend with his opponent's Stugs, and his opponent, by the way, has no anti-tank guns, didn't even go tier 2. Somehow, MrMarshallB cannot seem to get any territory. He can't get any territory in his control. Most of the territory on the map is undefended. All he has to do is send one squad, rear echelon troops or something. Go take some territory back. He's right next to it. Completely undefended, right side. Needs to go take that territory back under his control. One squad of grenadiers making its way up the left side, taking control of this munitions. MrMarshallB taking control of the central victory point. And these two squads are just going to defend. Go take territory. My god, the entire right side has no units. No units anywhere over there at all. Just giving the Axis free resources here. Lieutenant taking control of that munitions. And I believe Skillman is referring to the fact that he has just fielded a Tiger Ace. And that M20 needs to lay mines. I don't know if I spotted any mines getting laid, and there's one right here. I haven't seen it plant a single one. If it doesn't do so extremely soon, the Tiger Ace takes it out. There may not be much of a defense against it. That being said, he might be able to mass enough munitions for a P-47 at some point. He does have two Jacksons on the field. Two Jacksons can take on a Tiger Ace in ideal conditions. That Stug's getting rather aggressive, misses its shot against that Sherman, and two Jacksons move up and obliterate it immediately. Shouldn't have done that. He really should have pushed simultaneously with all of his vehicles to try and trade. There's also an AT gun available for this push. That M20 is gonna die though. With no mines planted anywhere, I don't think. Wow. That was something. Stug moving up into Jackson range though, unsupported. What is it doing? Oh my god. Why would that Tiger Ace pull back while the Stug engaged solo? Now both Stugs are dead and the Jacksons haven't even taken damage yet. Tiger Ace is going to engage Jacksons at range with an AT gun providing vision. This Tiger Ace is just doing it all wrong. Letting itself get countered by Jacksons at range. There it goes. Gets a shot off on the Jackson. He could utilize Blitz to close the difference or target weak point. And that Jackson's gonna go down. Thanks to the power of target weak point, plus Jackson just missed a shot. Still just sitting right in front of three heavy anti-tank weapons though. I mean, he's taking heavy damage. Pops smoke, just gonna pull back for repairs now, which is bad. You really don't want to delay engagements with the Tiger Ace. If you have to pull back for repairs with it and you've lost all your other armor, you're in an extremely bad situation. Extremely bad. Pioneer's gonna start getting that thing repaired. AT gun has been dropped. Two AT guns and a Vet 2 Jackson. He has a pretty decent arsenal with which to combat that Tiger Ace. Once this third Jackson completes, he'll be in a very powerful position. This is exactly the problem. If the Tiger Ace doesn't make an immensely dramatic impact as soon as it hits the field, it may end up hurting you more than it helps you. All it's done so far is destroy an M20 and a Jackson, which, compared to what he's paying for it right now, is not that impressive. Didn't have that many Pyos available when he purchased it. It's going to be extremely hard to purchase Pyos from this point forward. It's going to take 1,000,000 years to get that thing repaired, and in the meantime, we'll only have a few squads of Grenadiers who wish to attempt to engage the Allied Armor Swarm and Infantry Swarm. Lieutenant retreats, getting some reinforcement done here. It's actually in the US players' interest to delay the game as long as possible, which means Skillman's approach here is a terrible idea. That is the worst thing you could possibly do with a Tiger Ace on the field. I don't see that succeeding. That was lucky, though. Apparently that AT gun was already heavily damaged and that grenade destroys it entirely. Wow. Bringing him back down to only one AT gun, but he still does have 2 Jacksons, one of which is Vet 2. And Skillman actually has 200 fuel in the bank, which he probably should have spent before fielding a Tiger Ace. Now he won't have the manpower to field tanks in addition to his Tiger, unless he wants to make more Stugs. But as you can see, he needs Pyos to be able to repair this thing. He's going to be sitting there all day repairing that Tiger. Squads are moving up to take control of the central victory point under MG42 fire. Those paratroopers will get suppressed and pinned. He does have access to a smoke grenade, but hasn't tossed one out yet. Dodges the rifle grenade right there, moves up to throw a frag at the MG42 before immediately retreating. Throws a second grenade, he should be able to clear the weapon. Tiger Ace, meanwhile, is making a huge flank up the right side.
We have lost an MG team.
Oops. Lands target weak point on that Jackson. All shots on the Tiger Ace bounce. Tiger needs to close the distance. Get in closer. Or not. Actually, I guess it doesn't even matter. Its firing rate is so fast that it can kill a Jackson before it even recovers from target weak point. Still sitting in the arc of fire of a armor-piercing rounds AT gun, though. Falling down kind of dangerously low. A couple Jackson shots here could be problematic. Jackson shot misses. He didn't throw armor-piercing rounds on the Jackson either. He's got the munitions for it. Plus with 58 coming in, he'll have access to the P-47 rocket strafe. Losing that Jackson hurts, but again, it almost doesn't even matter if that Tiger Ace doesn't make a really dramatic impact. I think he made the right choice to disengage there. He's probably going to be destroyed. But by sitting in the arc of fire of this AT gun and letting it hit him with those armor-piercing rounds, every time they penetrate, he's forced off the field for more repairs. If he were to activate Blitzkrieg and go in super hard, flank the AT gun, and take out 2 Jacksons before making his escape, rather than engaging so timidly at a distance, he could make a much more dramatic impact with that Tiger Ace. He's just being so careful with it, which with any other tank would be a good thing, but with the Tiger Ace it's not. You need it to hit the field hard and fast and then die so that you start getting your resources back.
The enemy is attempting to steal our sector.
Slowly repairing here in the back. Allied infantry taking control of most of the right side, and for some reason 3 full squads of grenadiers being sent deep to this victory point. Didn't take any territory on his way up here, just taking the victory point. He does have a huge victory point lead on his opponent. American player has only 44 points remaining. And the clock's about to turn back against him. Fortunately, Lieutenant sprinting down the right side will take that victory point under control, although he will be pushed back by the Tiger Ace easily enough here. Sherman moves up to counter harass. Victory point will fall back into Allied hands once it pushes these grenadiers away. I don't know why he's backing away from that group of grenadiers. Why would he disengage? Kill them. You only have 30 points left. Go in for the crush. Force the retreat. He's kiting at max range like he's fighting a 6 Volksgrenadier Panzerschreck blob. Well, that took a needlessly long time. Paratroopers on their way to capture the victory point, but he should probably just hop out and do it with the vehicle crew. He doesn't really have time to waste on this. Only 30 points currently remain, and he's about to lose control of the center. Paratroopers move up to take control of this victory point now. Grenadiers taking control of the center, and the Tiger Ace has been fully repaired, and Stugs are being fielded. Mostly because he had a ton of fuel banked, and not that much manpower, so the Stug is the cheapest manpower option, I think. Yeah, pretty much. The only one he would be able to get 2 of in a reasonable amount of time. And he apparently just seems to like Stugs. American players going to continue to be double capped here. 17 points remaining. If he doesn't make a huge play for the center VP right now, it's pretty much GG. Here it comes. Tiger Ace just sitting here, killing all this infantry. Rifleman about to get wiped. He throws a smoke grenade down. Where's that smoke grenade? He does stop the victory point bleed, but he's probably going to lose that squad. There it goes. P-47 gets called in on the Tiger Ace, and the Sherman with HE shells equipped moves up. Jackson takes a huge shot of the Stug. Ooh. And a high explosive round just penetrated that Stug and abandoned it. Clock is stopped at 11. Vehicle crew disembarks here to take control of the center VP. Tiger Ace making its way back to the front lines. Don't put that lieutenant in that Stug. Tiger Ace taking some shots at the Jackson. Oh, missed! Vet 2 AT gun taking shots on the vetted Jackson. Just got a huge hit. P-47 coming in. Oh, one more pass. There it is. Tiger Ace is destroyed. Pops smoke and is not able to get away alive. So that Tiger Ace gets for engaging 2 Jacksons at range in the center of the lane on Minsk Pocket, plus armor-piercing rounds on this AT gun. Way too much. Way too much firepower. Now he's extremely behind. Only has a Stug with which to contend with his opponent. 11 points left on the clock. Grenadiers are going to make a harassment attempt deep down the left side, try and end the game, which if Marshall doesn't respond to in a rapid fashion, he'll probably lose. He's going to need to field his Sherman over there to push that harassment attempt away immediately, or at least counter harass over here with paratroopers. Sherman's not moving, it's sitting there repairing, needs to get going. Paratroopers are forced to retreat. He sees the victory point harassment coming. Come on, Sherman, let's go. There it goes. Should be able to get there in time to push that away.
We are down to 300 points.
Harassment attempt for the center will fail. Pios get gunned down. Grenadiers similarly will get gunned down. Sherman making its way towards the victory point. It's about to start getting captured. Stug making its way up to the front line to counter this harassment attempt. Throws enough Panzerfausts on this. Stug support. Maybe you can take that Sherman out. Try and get this point captured and end the game. Wow, that was a way early retreat. I don't know what I think about that. He basically gave up his attempt to take this point by throwing away that meat shield. Stug pop smoke to try and survive this Jackson push. Grenadiers are gonna die. A premature retreat on the other 2 squads results in a failure to take this victory point, and he has to make full retreat. That all-in attempt to take this VP was probably his only real chance to win this game, as he's now going to find himself overwhelmed by Allied armor, assuming MrMarshallB continues to produce units. 600 manpower, 280 fuel in the bank. If he just spams Shermans for the rest of the game, should easily be able to annihilate his opponent. get full map control, box him in, and finish out the game, as long as he doesn't make any mistakes. It caused him to lose victory point control for a few seconds too many. I don't know why the right side has been so unharassed this game. Just no attempt at all to take it like more than once anyway. I think Lieutenant worked his way down the right side one time in a 40-minute game though. That's not enough. Get some harassment going. Make some squads. In fact, it's airborne. There's really no excuse for it. Just drop some paratroopers over there. Just drop them right on the VP. Especially with 700 manpower in the bank. Of course, 300 fuel in the bank. You should probably start making some more Shermans too. Doesn't really have a whole lot of use for these Jacksons. You could decrew these in the base to minimize their impact on his pop cap. There's 2 more Shermans queued up. No excuse to let your opponent have this much map control when you're annihilating him so bad in these engagements. Paratroopers pulling back away from these infantry, falling to just below half. This is a pretty big push for the center VP. Should easily be able to push this away with his Shermans though. Vet 2 Sherman is available here, making its way towards the center. The fact that Marshall has only 1 Sherman on the field is actually a huge weakness, and he's kind of lucky that his opponent is not harassing 2 victory points simultaneously, but instead box selecting his whole army and right-clicking the like 1 VP. Oh, that crush. At least spread out a little. Good lord. If he were harassing the top left at this time, I think Marshall would lose. Fortunately, he's not doing that. Sending his entire army of grenadiers into this capture circle. Once more Shermans make it their way onto the battlefield.
Enemy can taste defeat. They only have 10 points remaining.
9 points left. He allowed this point to get captured, even though he's got like a bunch of infantry on the field. Where is it? Wow, it's just sitting AFK in his base. Okay, well, Grenadiers flooding into the capture circle might actually win the game. There are currently 5 points remaining. Rifle grenade could seal this game for him. No rifle grenades so far though. 2 points. Oh my god. 2 points. 2 points and the clock has stopped. Whole infantry army AFK in the US base. Good god. Game is almost lost right there, just the infantry flooding into the capture circle. And if a single squad had been sent to the left side, that game was over. Now, Allied tanks are going to swarm into the Oster base and probably clean up all of these units. Jackson is available to take out the Stug as well. Second Jackson coming. These 4 squads are going to make their way towards the center, which is kind of a mistake. They need to go for the top left. They might even be able to make it. What he really should do is split between both of them, but this force will be impossible to overwhelm. And just send 1 squad to the top left. Just 1. Oh my god. Why is he going for the middle? In this giant clump.
We are losing Soldat.
Well, they're all dead. Everything is dead. 3 squads now remain. There's no 2 squads. Possibly 1 squad. GG. Very nice man being exchanged.
That's everyone! Grenadiers ready!
Could be wrong.
We have a fresh
Sending 1 Grenadier squad to the left side, finally. I mean, as long as Marshall takes control of this, which he should have done a million years ago, by the way. The entire right side, totally undefended. Nothing over here for the last, I don't even know how long. Finally, the Lieutenant is going for the strategic point. Shermans are going to grab the victory point here. I hope. I'm sure they'll disembark before this Grenadier squad makes his way all the way up to the top left VP. Right? I'm sure he probably will. Please get out. Okay, there he goes. Taking control of the right side victory point. Panzer IV in production. Because why not, I guess. And yes, we can definitely fast forward through the rest of this game. Not really anything else to see here. That right side victory point's been taken. Left side will fall. Center VP being taken by these. Wait, whoa. They are gonna die, right? Yeah, okay. They get gunned down by paratroopers. Yes. Only one Grenadier squad remains, sitting over here on the left side. And that's it. GG. Marshall wins. Honestly, due only to the huge mistakes of his opponent. But taking out a game, or taking out a Tiger race is no small accomplishment. Of that I am certain. So, good game. Allies win.